Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Captain Ryan. Today's YouTube video has got me playing in the Tier 5 French Baguette, the Emile Burton, here in World of Warships. As the battle gets underway, it's Ring, it's Domination Match Mode. I'm headed off to the D cap point, and the vast majority of my team, and fortunately for me, the vast majority of the enemy team, are headed off to the A cap point. It's a Tier 5 maximum battle. There are only 2 destroyers on the enemy team, and there is an aircraft carrier to pay attention to. But mostly, we're not going to see too much of him as the battle gets going. So, recently opted to take out the French cruiser line, at least on my main North American account. As many of you will know, I don't particularly like this line of ships, much like the British cruiser line. I'm just really not a big fan of these ships. However, I did take them out on the EU account quite a while ago, and I did reasonably well in them. I didn't particularly do as well as I wanted to, so I just kind of avoided the ships altogether. However, recently, I haven't been doing the best with the teams I've been having, so I thought I might as well just go ahead, give in, and take these ships out for a spin anyway. Free XP right up to the Tier 5 Emile Burton because, to be honest, I've played the lower tier ships and I just did not like them. However, the Burton did pretty well in while I had it. In fact, I actually kind of enjoyed this ship more than I thought I was going to. Now, my team has managed to secure the A cap point, which is good for us, and managed to nail this poor Konsberg with a lovely citadel, and he gets taken out of the game. The enemy team does secure first blood, which is a little unfortunate, and I didn't get that kill on that cruiser there, and that's going to be a little bit of an importance here at the end of the battle, as we'll see. Now, some of the advantages to the French cruisers, and one of the reasons that I actually decided I was going to start playing them, is that they have really good chance for fires. Everybody talks about the Russian cruisers being fire starters in World of Warships. Well, their reputation is definitely going to be challenged as more and more people start playing the French line, because the French cruiser line has an insane chance for starting fires. Just to give you an idea, the Henry has a base 22% chance for fire starting. With Demolition Expert and flags, you can bump that up to almost 26% chance for fire. You basically set everything on fire. Everything will be burning. And it's fine. Unless you're in a battleship or you're in a destroyer. There, as you can see, they're putting rounds just over that island onto that cruiser, managing to set him on fire. Not once, but twice there. Once, obviously, he's going to put that out. Twice, well, he's going to burn for a little bit there. Managed to set that destroyer on fire. One of the biggest reasons that I decided to say screw it and give in and take these ships out is because every time I run across a high-tier French cruiser, their RNG is insane. For whatever reason, they always tend to manage to not only knock out all of my modules on destroyers like the Fletcher, where that's normally not the case, but they also manage to set me on fire pretty frequently. Now, my team is currently in the lead. We have lost one of our destroyers, but the enemy team only had 2 to begin with, so we are at least equal on the destroyer settings. Now, there are 2 New Mexicos pushing up here, and those 2 ships are going to engage in a brawl. But hey, there's a cruiser coming around the corner here. Managed to citadel this guy 3 times, basically drop him very low. The 6-inch guns on the French cruisers aren't as fast as other ships. I really wanted to get that kill on that ship as well. And again, you'll see why that's a little bit of a disappointment that I didn't manage to secure that kill either. Of course, he takes out one of our destroyers, so the enemy team now has the destroyer advantage, at least for the meantime. More torpedoes coming in here. Decided I'm going to pop my hydroacoustic just to make sure there's not something hiding around an island or trying to sneak up here. French cruisers, though, surprisingly maneuverable, very good at torpedo beating action, something that I've come to learn repeatedly in these ships. And at the higher tiers, of course, you have that speed boost consumable. boy, I'll tell you what, these ships are just destructively fast. In fact, I think the Henry with speed boost, speed flags, can get up to something like 42 or 43 knots. The thing will outrun a Fletcher. One of the other reasons that I wanted to give it a try. Definitely a destroyer hunter. Managed to take out that destroyer there, finish him off, and then hit that battleship with torpedoes, but I didn't actually cause any flooding. Really disappointed by that. Can I secure the kill? I do manage to do it. Finish him off for a double strike, and that's going to protect the D cap point. Now, the enemy team really has lost a lot of their ships, and of course, my team is now down to no destroyers left. The enemy team still has one, and so that does mean they have a little bit of advantage. Now, I've got myself effectively isolated because our friendly battleship, he's up there. He's not going to last too long here as a result of being so low health and that other engagement. But it's going to be me versus a full-strength Omaha here. Two Tier 5 cruisers. What could possibly go wrong? It's a fair fight because we both have torpedoes. But the French cruisers, well, they've got 9-kilometer torpedoes. That I didn't fully realize, and I was always surprised to discover that that was the case. So I've got the armor piercing loaded, something that this class of ship very good at doing against other cruisers. That armor piercing is surprisingly effective, so you can use it pretty regularly and pretty consistently to penetrate. It's not like some of the other armor piercing rounds on other cruisers that seem to have some hit or miss issues with whether or not they're going to penetrate. Now this Omaha, he keeps trying to turn broadside to get all of his guns to bear, and that's going to be the end of him as I manage to citadel him again for a couple and finish him off. So at this point in the game, I've managed to do some 100,000 damage, and I've managed to only kill 3 ships. But like I said, the 2 ships that I wasn't able to finish off, as you can see here, if I had both of those, I would have a Kraken unleashed. Still, there are some ships in the game to shoot at, but not too many. So getting a Kraken, very, very unlikely. The enemy team is down on points. They are down to just 3 ships, and we know where at least 2 of them are, and we know where the carrier is. A little bit of a replay bug here. I don't know why it does that in the replays, but not in actual battle. Very, very odd. So after taking out the Amelia Barton here, I played several battles in it. It only took me effectively 5 battles, 2 wins, and unfortunately 3 losses with the XP flags that I had running on her with the camo and everything in order to actually research into the next ship. But by this point, I was not really in the mood to wait, so I went ahead and I just used my copious amounts of free XP and basically got into the Henry. And I can tell you that I actually really, really like the Henry. Didn't think I was going to, but surprisingly enough, like I was saying, that ship, 42 plus knots with that speed boost, and that speed boost lasts so long. I mean, it's like a 3-minute consumable. She's got excellent chance to start fires, and as we'll see in a future video, I'm just going to wreck people with fires in a very tier 10 battleship heavy game. Now, as the battle continues to wind down here, that carrier's popped up. He's very low health now. I'm going to try and get shots out onto him. I managed to hit him, almost to kill him outright. Look at that high explosive damage. Is very good on the French baguettes. Again, that's something you got to pay attention to if you're playing them and playing against them. Managed to set this carrier on fire twice. He immediately puts it out. He really could not afford to take those hits, but I really want this kill. Can my shots get there before he succumbs to somebody else's fire? Switch my fire over to that destroyer because I knew that guy was dead. Start capping the B cap point, and now it's just down to this destroyer and a battleship in the distance. I'm on 4 kills. I'm looking for a Kraken. There is a possibility that I could get it if I manage to kill this destroyer, and I really do want to kill this destroyer. Of course, he's popped a smoke screen, and he's staying very well hidden inside of it, but he's not sitting in there, which is a smart destroyer. Decide I'm going to start pushing up here again because the ship is so quick, and pop my hydro just in case there's torpedoes coming my way. I don't have a lot of health left here, and I don't need to accidentally run into a torpedo to finish me off. Now I'm detected. I know that's going to be the destroyer. There he is. Get shots out there. Come on, land hits. No, RNGesus decides to forsake me. My shots don't quite land, don't quite reach him before he gets taken out of the game. So no Kraken unleashed for me. Now it's just down to a battleship, but there's not a lot of time left in this game as my team is securing the A cap point. And that Bayern is effectively at the max end of my gun range. The other thing to note with the French cruisers is that their gun ranges can get a little ridiculous up in the high tier, so something you got to pay attention to. And that Bayern is taking shots at me, but I'm paying attention to it, so I'm not sailing broadside on, and I'm turning hard, and those shots are pretty much all just going to avoid me as I, again, continue to zigzag back and forth trying to avoid getting hit. But he does land a couple of shots on me. You got to be careful with the speed boost when dealing with the tier 6 and up French cruisers, because that speed boost can throw off your aim, as most of your shots will fall short. And unfortunately, it looks like we're going to win on points before I manage to finish off this battleship. Really disappointed I didn't secure a Kraken, but hey, I did 111,000 damage in that game. And again, there, as you can see, the XP earned 15,000 XP, a lot of that from flags. 11 Citadels, though, Confederate and Double Strike. Always a good choice. A couple of base caps in there as well. Now, before we end out here, I do want to say, though, that this battle was played while I was pretty drunk as well. Pretty loosened up with 4 tall boy beers at this point. So, very good battle, considering I was a drunken sailor in a French roll. Top of the team for XP earned at over 2,000 base XP in what was effectively a tier 6 maximum battle. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you liked the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and the channel, as well as gain some additional unique perks, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. Any support level does help me. If you've got a replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play World of Warships live, among other games, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.